Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to RM Podcast FL. It is Tuesday. We do have another awesome episode for you guys, so make sure to stay tuned and listen to today's interview. And today, I'm excited to have John Petz today. Hi, John. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Looking forward to having a little fun this afternoon with you.
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to thank you for taking your time and being a part of the show. It is Friday now that we're recording the interview, you guys. So definitely taking time out of your day. But before we do jump to the juicy stuff or the very informative information we're going to cover, John, I want to pass on the mic to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't know anybody that knows you better than you know you. So tell us how awesome you are.
You want me to tell you how awesome I am? That's not my
Yes.
normal thing to do. I will tell you about what I believe in and what I want to, hopefully what we can accomplish. No, I want to help people be more productive and purposeful in what they do and help them reconnect with other humans, especially in the time that we're going through at the moment.
That is human interaction, human connection nowadays. It is something that I feel like we're losing because we don't have that physical contact. But I know you were into sales world before, so can you explain us a little bit into how important is the human connection, just overall, or even for sales, since sales is super important for a business?
Well, I think sales is a word that would make some people jump back and say, hey, that's not me. And that's why every single one of us is in sales. Whether they're listening and they're married, if they have a boyfriend, girlfriend, if they applied to a college and got in, you sold yourself in some way, shape, or form. So sales, I think, can be a back off word. But I think helping influence and leading people is what it's really all about. My background was technology, sales, and marketing. Started in the voice and data telecom world and jumped into the first big wave of the .com world and played in that for a long time. I was doing a lot of sales training, other background as a professional entertainer. So I kind of combined the two and ended up where I'm at today.
Nice. And I know recently you launched your third book as well, which I'm excited for to read it soon, The Significance in Simple Moments. And you also focus a lot about practicing gratitude and the importance of practicing gratitude throughout all your, no matter the situation that you might be at or no matter the outside environment factors. Can you tell us a little bit more how we can practice gratitude during these crazy times?
Well, I think it's an opportunity to kind of take it all in. And when we say practice gratitude, there's different ways of approaching that. And the book is more on, let's say, achieving significance. But it does mention the book is how do we identify, how do we deliver, and how do we truly appreciate and recognize the moments that we're in. Such a good line. If any of the Office fans out there, was Ed Helms when he was almost the very last episode of The Office. Well, it is the last episode, but the last few seconds, and he talks about, I only wish we realized we were in the good old days when we were actually in the good old days. And it's so true. We right now we're so focused, we're so stressed, we're moving so fast, and oftentimes we don't take a moment to take that breath, take everything in the surroundings around us and try to find those simple moments that we can truly appreciate. And it's very difficult. It's easier said than done in many cases, but mindfulness minutes you've heard and meditation is all about being in that present moment. And it's a important facet right now of our lives, yet I think something that's really missed by many people.
I feel like I myself don't practice gratitude as much as I would love to, just
None of us
because.
do.
And I try, like I journal and I try to write down at least one you think I'm grateful for. But sometimes we overthink it. We're like, well, what am I grateful for today? Like I worked really hard, or it was just a crazy day. Do you think we should look at even like the tiny bits of elements of like having a roof on my house, or being able to afford my car payment, or things of the nature that we take for granted sometimes?
I mean, those are all good ways to start. Even on the significance and the simple moments was the third. There's the fourth one coming, which is the journal, and it actually looks at some of those things of what moments can we look back and appreciate that we did have, that we did do, and that we gave or gifted to other people. I think a big part of gratitude is being able to share those things. It's yes, being appreciative of the roof over their head, but maybe identifying that person who doesn't, or and that's a very now we're talking, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're really going, sheltering up, but gratitude could be gifting that sense and that gift to other people as well. It helps you realize what you do have, but it's also that sense of significance that we have that we can give to others.
Was there a moment in your life that you forgot to maybe practice gratitude for you and you like recouped yourself real quick to start appreciating things? Like, was there a moment you'd like to share with us?
I will share a moment. I mean, I'm sure there's many moments that we've all absolutely forgotten what is around us and just taken that breath and be like, look at the positive. I mean, it happens a lot. The one moment that I mentioned in the book, and it was actually a guidance from my brother, and it was from the wedding. And he's like, everything goes so fast. He's like, just promise me 3 times you're going to stop. Just take a breath and don't just look around the entire room and see people's faces and reactions and smiles and just remember that and take it all in. And I will never forget that advice. And I always give that advice when people say, "Are you getting married? What do you know?" And but that can parlay into any facet of a job, a project, a family. So literally in the heat of it all, when things are going on and it's busy and it's crazy and you're stressed, try to literally physically stop, take the breath, look around you, and find 3 positives in that situation.
So that kind of connects back with like celebrating little moments, celebrating
Oh,
small
of course.
wins, which I'm not good at. I'm just going to say it. I'm not really good at celebrating little small wins because I want like the big final moment, even though I say take small steps. But I got, put aside one time for my friend. She said, you need to celebrate small wins. But I feel like I'm not the only one, and maybe like highly motivated people, they're just looking for that final ooh moment or the final celebration. We don't celebrate those little things or stay uh, um, gratitudinous towards it. What did you say to either maybe celebrate small wins? Like what can we do to to
Well,
look
let's
at
even look
things
at from the
small?
corporate association world, the working world, if that's I know you probably have a lot of student listeners and et cetera. I mean, and there's so many different polls, engagement study polls, and Gallup polls is one that I study quite a bit and follow. And you look at the human engagement side of what keeps people connected to their job, purposeful, engagement and productivity towards their job. And it's the feeling of value and recognition, feeling that the work that they do matters. And yes, we sometimes will have those end of year awards, the project finishes and you toast a glass of champagne, but look at all the milestones along the way in which we can hold someone up and edify them in front of their peers, in front of those simple wins that they did accomplish something, which could literally be, you know, it depends on what kind of world they live. It's an HR world, and that's how we got connected to the SHRM world. But the daily stand-up meetings and an agile methodology, which is an IT development cycle. They do, it's part of this is daily stand-ups, and it's recognizing that little moment of the day that made an impact on somebody else's job and giving that mirror, that spotlight, a point at that person just from that feeling and sense of value. So in terms of celebrating the simple moments or valuing those simple moments, they go a really long way because it gives us a sense of pride in who we are, what we do, why we do it, and how it impacts other people. And the more we can share that, I think the more productive and valued people will feel in that job, and hence the more ROI you're going to get from them and productivity.
So where do you think for an individual to stay, like, is there a fine line between continuing to stay humble and continue to celebrate small wins like that? Because I feel like if you're like, hey, I did this, like every time you do something, hey, I did this, hey, I did this, but you're also trying to like stay humble, is there like a fine line that you should not get in your own head for a second, but like stay humble and still celebrate small wins?
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of took it a slightly different way. I was even taking it as a manager and celebrating a win for somebody else. So we're actually talking, you're even going like celebrating a win for yourself. Uh, Not broadcasting it out on social media like, look how cool I am every single day. And look, my gosh, I walked my dog. It's a win. I'm outside. That might get a bit much. But I guess, well, let me go back to the reason I think some of us want to do that is we want to achieve the level of significance, if you want to use that with the level of significance in our job, our career, our club, our association, our status as a student, whatever it might be. We'll soon learn that significance is nothing that you can achieve yourself. You deeming yourself important to other people based on title alone will not function as a good result for you. We can only achieve significance because others gift it to us because how we serve them. So if we're going to celebrate those moments, I think we need to celebrate that as a group, or have other, you celebrating the success of somebody else, and then in turn that will come back to you. But it's all being about celebrating yourself and ego. That's a difference of thinking you're a leader, but really you're just out for a walk and nobody's following.
That is so true, because I feel like that's where it's that little small thing of celebrating your own wins, but also not coming out that ego is like, look at what I did, look at what I'm doing. Like, I feel like, because it's very easy, I feel like it's easier to appreciate, be like, hey, John, you did this, like, that's amazing, congratulations. But if I'm like, hey, I did this, tell congratulations to me, that's a whole different thing.
It is, and like celebrate the result of who it impacted. Because of what you did together, look at that result. Then that's just taken a little bit deeper. So it's not a focus on an inward focus. It's a focus on, as a result of us as a team, I'm saying, accomplishing this, that person, that team, that organization, that client is now able to do better, more successfully, more productive, and focus on that type of result.
Nice.
The impact of your result. Yeah.
Celebrate the ones that you affected. That I like that one. That's kind of taking the focus out of you. Celebrate their, what your work was able to help other people with. Now let's talk a little bit. I know in our introduction call, as my listeners know, I do an introduction call. We did focus a little bit on the terminology of using the word just and the limited beliefs that come with it. Can you tell us a little bit more about your definition of the word just?
Yeah, and it perfectly plays into what we were saying 30 seconds ago. If we're not just, I call them the I am statements of, realizing the impact of what you do. The just word itself is one of those self-demoralizing words, and I always call it the justa word. And when you say the word justa, people will give you that odd look and they don't know what it means, but they know the word. It's just not used in that context, in that sentence structure. But it's a word used in all organizations, social structures, families, volunteerism jobs, etc., where you have those folks who will look you straight in the eye and say, "But I'm just a student. I'm just a volunteer. I'm just the new person." And they're literally looking at you and telling you, "I don't feel I make an impact in this certain situation." So those are limiting beliefs. They're belittling impacts. And in reality, it's those simplest of moments and actions that have sometimes the biggest outcomes and impacts and effects on different people, organizations, maybe from a personal and emotional side, even more so than a professional and productivity side. But those are the key facets that build connection, build human engagement, and build purpose and pride behind someone's work. So when you have someone that's looking at you saying, I don't slap them across the face or shake them or anything, but I help them realize you're not just, you are. You, as a student, look what you can do. As a CEO, look at the impact you have on so many different families. So I help people go from I'm just to I am, I get, I believe. So take it that direction.
So would it be like somebody says, oh, like I just only just got a job, instead of going back to kind of celebrating small wins, since everything is kind of connected on this episode? It'd be like, oh, I just got a job. Like, no, I got the job, or I got this. How do you think that's going to help somebody process mentally to just replacing just that just word?
Well, again, back to a couple minutes ago, taking that a little bit deeper. As a result of having that job, what happens now? Who do they impact? Who do they affect? So as the job, I would dig deeper with them and I would help them understand, all right, as a result of the job, I now will have some income. I'm paying taxes to better support, they might hate that part, but look at, I'm helping support our country, if you want to go, that side. But
that's a whole nother conversation.
That is, I didn't even mean to open up that can right there. I'm like, how do I back out of that one? But it's out there, it's live. But realistically thinking, as a result of me having this job, what will this income do? How many people will I help? But it's just a drive-through worker. Yeah. Do you know how important that person is to us right now? Literally. But I think, and that's drive-through workers, you're important. You're essential, literally essential.
No, we
helping
love you
people.
guys. Like
Oh, we
we
do. So if it was like an organization, when I do the I am statements, I ask people, what do you do? No, what do you really do? Because they always have that title. Well, I'm a frontline worker. Critical. All right. So tell me more. What do you really do? Well, as a frontline worker, I help people in medical situations and safety situations. As a result of that, what happens? Well, people feel more safe. They feel more comfortable. So as a result, I'm really shortcutting it, but as a result of this job, I'm helping people feel more safe, more comfortable, have a more secure life, future, family life. But we often just minimize it to the title, but it's just a job. But the impact of your service and your little actions go a lot longer than that.
So, do you think maybe the frontline managers, for example, for those frontline agents or for frontline employees, like the frontline managers or the executive leaders, maybe do you think they should actually work a lot more with their employees towards explain the big why and the importance of somebody's job to maybe change that sometimes?
Well, as good old Simon, a friend and author Simon Sinek said, all starts with all begins with why. Now
Yeah.
that's the purpose behind your purpose has to come before passion. It's on one of the part of the programs that I speak on quite a bit. And how are you going to define that purpose? How do you get people to engage in that purpose? And that does become part of the training and the onboarding process from the HR standpoint. Getting people to realize the value of what that task, that job, that minute detail really means to the people that it serves, the customers that it serves, and how it makes the customer's life better if it is in fact a customer relationship.
So yeah, getting that down to the but
The
HR
purpose,
perspective,
yeah,
yeah,
to
the
that purpose, to
purpose.
the why.
And I feel like a lot of times corporates, especially, first off, like a lot of people also have the HR perception of, oh, just the people behind that just do the benefits and take care of like my taxes. A lot of people, like people don't sometimes realize like the big thing that goes along with the HR towards the training, towards laws, towards everything else. So whenever, since you brought up HR and we connected through SHRM itself, what for small businesses that don't necessarily practice HR or don't have a set HR, what do you think would be some good things for the small business owners or for that one manager that takes care of everything to help the employees explain the why a little bit different and make them feel more appreciated for their job?
That's great. One thing I've worked with several companies on, it's been really effective, is taking a several hours to a half day, and I don't call it a job share, but have that operations person go work with the salesperson, have that HR person go be in the factory or in the warehouse and realize by the very nature of what they do how it impacts people all the way down the line. So if sales sells something, this is how it impacts operations. This is if we shortcut it or do it incorrectly or inaccurately or underprice it, what's the stress level that it happens to them? And then based on that, what happens to the next person down the road? So helping in a small organization, people really understand each function and what their task plays in the function of that next person is really helpful and important for those organizations.
I like that, having the operational person actually work close one-on-one with those with employees so they can actually see the importance and explain it. That's I feel like that's something that not a lot of companies practice, especially corporate. The corporate that I've worked at least would be like just in training and be like, "Hi guys, I'm the HR person. Call me, come to my office if you have questions," and that's about it. That's
And
as
that's
much.
it. Well, no, right? No one wants to go to the HR office.
Yeah, that's why even if you
We need
say
to
there
change that
open
whole
door,
perspective.
even if you say open door policy, nobody wants to go there because it's like, oh, they're just that HR person. Goodness. Well, I also found through reading your bio, which I found this very interesting, to be honest. You and your family actually founded Miracles and Magic Foundation. Tell us a little bit more about it.
It is, well, it's something that stemmed from a unique experience I had with a child in a hospital. I was performing for a child in a hospital and wanted to look for an opportunity to kind of raise some money. And I didn't really have a whole lot of money to donate at that point in time and give back. So we started an organization that does shows for children in a life-threatened condition. And we have brought in the best, when I say shows, it's a magic and illusion, comedy magic and illusion show. Done it in multiple cities, done it online, but bring in some of the best magicians around the world who, instead of having kids focus on hospitals and shots and hospital beds and all the stress of their life, even if it's for 30 minutes to an hour or a 2 hour full, illusion production, we want them to forget about those other things and just experience the wonder, the comedy, and the amazement of the magic.
Where can people donate or help towards this cause?
It's miraclesandmagic.com. Uh, Not a fancy website. You'll see basically the shows on there. We're a little bit in the holding pattern with the live shows. Obviously, we did literally the world's largest magic show when all the pandemic started in March. And I have to go back and look how many countries we had involved, how many thousands of people around the world watching. We didn't even do it as a fundraiser. We did it for all the different hospitals. And now Miracles and Magic is in, the children's in Denver, it's in Columbus, it's in Cincinnati, and there's different streaming products we have, and it's been awesome. But if they want to learn more about it, or if there's is a great web developer that can help me make the web better, that's what I need help with too. Because I did that one myself, and that's not my skill set. It's a nonprofit. I don't,
Hey, you never know. Any of my web developers, any of the audience that actually want to help out towards an amazing cause, make people happier, please contact John.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Even if that's the whole thing that you get out of this episode. We find a web developer.
Never know.
You never know. That's the power of podcasting. Were you always this passionate towards helping others, or just always being this positive? Because it's not easy to always be like all hypered up and everything. And I've talked to you twice so far in our introduction call on this, and you're just like, I feel like you have a lot of energy on you the whole time.
It's interesting something I love to do is take your daughter to work days. And I have 3 daughters, and the oldest is a sophomore at the Ohio State University. But I only share that because at different times when I've taken them, and they've been all around the world for different gigs and speaking engagements and author book signings. And I swear the question they get all the time is your dad always like this? That's why I bring that up. Naturally excited, maybe. It's I'm very, very blessed to do what I do. Very fortunate. I've worked very hard to do what I do, but it is the best, if you want to call it a job, the best business, best job in the world for me at this point in time in my life. So am I always like this? Not always. I'll tell you, if I do 5 gigs in 5 cities in 5 days, which doesn't happen all the time, but it can, and I come home and I veg and I don't want to talk to anybody. So I do need absolutely down moments, but connecting with people is what gives me energy, honestly. Yeah. And I know there's other people like that out there who are struggling, and we need these connections and conversations, and they'll hopefully be back in real life soon, more of them.
So if you were to win like an award, let's say, and like your loved ones were in the in the audience, and you were in the stage accepting just the award, whatever award you want, what would you like that award to be?
Wow, that is a brilliant question. And caught me off guard. What award would I want to win?
Yeah, and your loved ones are in the audience. Like, what's the award that you'd be like, I feel like my life is accomplished and I feel like 1,000 times better about myself?
I don't know if I could identify the name on the award. Something about giving gifts to others and helping others excel and find the best in themselves. But you know what? I'll use the title of the Significance Award, because that's something that other people have to give to you. I want to be significant in the lives of my kids, and I hope that I can help others achieve what they want to achieve, and in doing so through believing in themselves and having more purpose and passion. So,
nice. I like that.
I don't know if that's such an award, but something along those lines.
Well, something that with a word that would have that meaning behind it, because that
not look what I did, not one of those, I'm the top sales, the top speaker. I mean, there's Speaker Hall of Fame awards, and there's different. I mean, but if my kids are there, I want them to know that I made the difference in the lives of other people.
And that completely resonates with you having that positive energy and just always like trying to help, at least from like trying to help as many people as possible, and just aligns with everything else for you. I don't know about you guys, like whoever is listening to this episode, by the way, wherever you get your podcast juice from, whatever platform, I have to say, you have to definitely look at John's, some of the live videos that he has for the speaking events. I've been sitting here the other day and I was seeing one of the videos and I'm just all excited, super positive energy. But also go ahead and read his book, The Significance in Simple Moments, the 6 printing and focuses to definitely not miss out. Absolutely highly suggest you to do so. And I feel like we covered a lot of information, even though we kind of highlighted and touched topics. We're trying to make sure that
Jumped around pretty good. That was good.
yeah. Well, also the audience, if you guys want to see our pretty faces, don't forget now we also are YouTube on our website and our Facebook.
We are live.
Yes. We even dressed up nice for you guys.
Thundering outside, so I'm like hitting mute. That's why I'm a little dark too. But
well, what's a new and exciting project that you're working towards currently that you like to share?
The follow-up to the book Significance in Simple Moments will be out, depending on some publisher things, but out in spring, I would say, to early summer. That's the follow-up book, helping people identify, appreciate, and deliver the simple moments in life. Excited about that. And actually, I shared this with you. I remember I was asking questions about the podcast, so I finally am jumping into the podcast world and have it nationally syndicated through the C-Suite Network, which will be cool. And identifying kind of the top 1% of performers and really what helps them perform at their best. So there's 2 new projects coming down early 2021.
Yes, and I'm so excited. Welcome to the podcasting world.
No.
It's so weird because when people say we're launching podcasts, all the podcasts would be like, yes, please join us, join the world. Like, let's get the message out there. But if you're like, hey, I'm opening a business in your line of work, be like, are you sure about this? I don't know if you should join. But podcast is very different. Goodness. Well, my very last question, it's always my favorite question too. John, what is your personal definition of success?
You do ask good questions. Definition of success to me is being able to do, it's one of the, maybe it's too egotistical, being able to do what I want, when I want, with the people I want. I think that would be the definition of success. It's a little bit of financial independence, but it's also having the heart to care of, helping the people that I want to help. If I want to do philanthropy and serve other people, I can do that, but I need the means to do it. So definition of success, I'd like to be able to do, although it sounds so aggressive, I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with the people I want.
I mean,
so I hope you can too.
It's a simple equation, just like what I want, whatever I want, with people I want. That's great.
That sounds very big. That's a big head thing, but
oh my goodness,
I can break it down to make it sound better.
Well, where can people connect with you? If somebody definitely wants to connect with you, or even, see one of your, have you on their podcast or read one of your books, is there a website or a line of work that they can connect with you?
Certainly just Google John Petz. I'm an easy Google, which is JONPETZ. Hit johnpetz.com. Social channels, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the books are all out there. They're easy to find. And they're available, of course, on the website as well.
Awesome. And for the lazy listeners that don't want to type stuff on Google, I'll go ahead and attach that information on the show notes for you guys too, so you can just tap along and be directed to John's website. John, thank you so much for being a part of RM Podcast FL. We really appreciate you having on the show.
Thank you, Romina. Talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. And for you, my listeners, make sure to stay tuned. Every Tuesday, we bring new episodes to you guys. You have a good one.